The road to Black Ops 6 Zombies was pretty eventful. There was a lot of excitement at first when they revealed Terminus, but all of that hype immediately died when we entered the Liberty Falls era, and it didn't start to come back until these last couple of weeks. But now the game has officially been released, so how did it turn out? Well, my first impressions are good. I would call it a major improvement over Cold War Zombies, and I did really like Cold War despite its flaws, but that doesn't mean that Black Ops 6 doesn't have flaws of its own. There are some things that I think could be better. For starters, dedicated crews are back, which is wonderful. Treyarch has never had trouble writing good characters in the past, and Cold War had plenty. We just didn't get to play as them in Zombies. And when your characters don't feel very invested in what's going on in the game, it really hurts the atmosphere. A dedicated crew of 4, on the other hand, can be fleshed out a lot more than over 30 different operators. They can actually have emotions and make jokes and just generally have better reactions to everything. But you can still choose to play as an operator if you want to, which is totally fine. It's basically the same system from World War II, which is exactly what people said they should have done. Actually, what Black Ops 6 really needs from World War II is the no preference option, which randomly chooses one of the 4 main characters to play as. I don't want to have to manually change my character all the time, but I also wouldn't want a random character option that gives me operators on maps with dedicated crews. And if I remember correctly, World War II Zombies didn't let multiple people play as the same character. Not that they can really stop this from happening in Black Ops 6 since you can pay real money for skins, but a no preference option could at least help to minimize repeat characters in the same game. The difficulty in Black Ops 6 is also quite a bit higher than Cold War's, and I think that there are a few things that contribute to this. The weapons feel weaker, especially at the lower tiers, so zombies are harder to kill and ammo runs out faster. So far, I think I've already used more ammo caches in this game than I ever did in Cold War, especially now that critical kills are worth the most amount of points, so you're encouraged to go for more headshots rather than just relying on your dedicated melee weapon. And because of this, I find that lethal and tactical equipment is a lot more valuable than before, but they also drop far less frequently. So there's more incentive to craft them at the workbenches, which I rarely ever did before, but I also try to save my equipment until I really need it. It's also nice that you'll keep collecting equipment even after you've run out, which was not previously the case, and the ragdoll effects are just perfect. But the main source of difficulty in this game is the zombies' behavior. They are extremely aggressive and will surround you really fast, so you can't ever let your guard down. Even in the earlier rounds, when the zombie damage is reduced and you start with level 1 armor, you still feel kind of vulnerable. Although sometimes it feels like you hardly even get a chance to breathe, so I'm not sure that I'm 100% on board with this change, at least for the earlier rounds. Don't get me wrong, I'll take it over an experience that's too easy, and it's probably necessary with the omnidirectional movement, but I personally would prefer a slower pace in exchange for some of the health and the armor that we get. That would make it easier to take in all the sights and sounds, but it would still maintain the difficulty. Or maybe we just need barriers back to slow down the zombies. I'm really happy with the HUD customization. Being able to turn off the minimap, medals, and score notifications is a big win for me. So far, my favorite preset has been Essentials without the minimap. Classic is a close second, but the player information above the round number just doesn't look right to me. And Redacted is a really cool option to have, I just haven't used it much yet. I do think it would be better though if they did more with each squad mate's color. You can actually customize them in this game, so I have mine set to the classic white, blue, yellow, and green, but all that really does is change the color of this circle by their names. I'd like it more if their whole name and their points was in that color too. Actually, the names on the spectating menu do change color, so it's kind of weird that it's not like that by default. I'd also like it if I could have different presets for the different modes. The stuff that I want on my HUD in Zombies is different from what I want in multiplayer. I really like these new death animations at the end of the game. Some of them are actually pretty brutal. I like that the exfil chopper isn't always in the same location, and it's pretty funny that Door's bot is now on the scoreboard so that you can shame your teammates who don't buy enough. But I don't care much for this background during the game over screen. I much prefer those shots of the map after you died. Those always gave me an eerie feeling. And yes, Vanguard did the same thing, but Vanguard was Vanguard. And finally, I think that there needs to be a menu for weapon kits, just like there was in Black Ops 3 and 4. The way that it is now, where you have to customize a gun in your loadout and then save it as a zombie build, is a bit unintuitive, and maybe I missed a tutorial somewhere, but I had to look up how to do this. Although I wouldn't mind the random attachments if they would stop putting optics on every single gun. I want to use iron sights, Treyarch. Well, those are my quick first impressions of Black Ops 6 Zombies. Despite my criticisms, I am pretty happy with the game overall, and I am looking forward to playing it some more.